Hello everyone, I am Monali and I welcome you all to this video lesson with a very big heart. Children, in continuation of the previous video where we talked about meristematic tissue, here is another lesson about different type of plant tissue, that is permanent tissue, from the chapter Tissue. So let's get started. Permanent tissues are made up of those cells of meristematic tissue which lose their ability to divide and take a permanent shape to perform some permanent function. This we can say that permanent tissues are formed as a result of division and differentiation in meristematic tissues. The cells of these tissues are either living or dead, thin-walled or thick-walled. Permanent tissues can be of two types: simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissues consist of only one type of cells which are similar in structure and perform similar functions. It can be broadly of two types: supporting tissues, which can be further categorized as Parenchyma, Collenchyma and Sclerenchyma, and protective tissue, which can be categorized as epidermis and cork. Students, in this video lesson, we are going to talk about different types of supporting tissue. The first type is Parenchyma tissues. The term parenchyma has come from Greek word parenchyma, which literally means something poured in beside. The term parenchyma was first coined by plant physiologist Nehemiah Grew. Let's see SLF of parenchyma tissues. We'll start with the structure. The cells of parenchyma tissues are large, thin-walled and living in nature. The cells may be oval, circular or polygonal in shape. They have large intercellular spaces among them. The cells of this tissue usually have a single large vacuole. Here is the diagram which show you the transverse section of parenchyma tissue. Let's see location. These tissues are found in soft parts of the plant, such as in the cortex of roots and ground tissues in stem. They are also found in the mesophylls of leaves and also in the flowers and fruits. Function. Parenchyma tissues are also called as packing tissues, which fill space between other tissues. But the main function of parenchyma tissue is the storage of food. In fleshy stems and leaves, parenchyma cells also function as water storage tissue. A very good example is in case of Apuntia and Euphorbia. Types of parenchyma tissue. The very first type is Arynchyma. In hydrophytes, large air cavities are formed in between cells of parenchyma tissue, which are filled with air. This type of parenchyma tissues is called Arynchyma. The plants become buoyant due to the presence of air and also gaseous exchanges facilitated. Another type of parenchyma tissue is called as Sclerenchyma. Some parenchymatous cells, particularly those present in the leaf, contain chloroplast and are termed as Sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma helps the leaf to produce food by photosynthesis. Another type of supporting tissue present in plant body is Collenchyma tissue. The term Collenchyma has come from the Greek word kollin, which means glue. The diagram presented here shows the longitudinal section and the transverse section of Collenchyma tissue. Let's have a look at SLF of Collenchyma tissues. Structure. Collenchyma tissue is made up of elongated cells which are living in nature. The cell wall is not uniformly thick. It is thickened at the corners due to deposition of extra cellulose and pectin. As in this diagram, you can see the cell wall is thickened at the corners. Intercellular spaces are generally absent in such tissue. Location. Collenchyma tissues are present in the stems and the petioles of leaves. They are also present in the midribs of dicot leaves, but they are absent in the monocot stems, roots and leaves. Function. It provides mechanical support and elasticity to the plant body. Sometimes Collenchyma develops chloroplasts and take part in photosynthesis also. The third type of supporting tissue is called as Sclerenchyma tissue. The term Sclerenchyma is derived from the Greek word skleros, meaning heart. It was discovered and coined by Martinus. Let's have a look at the structure, location and function of this tissue. Begin with structure. Sclerenchyma tissue is made up of long, narrow, dead cells that are packed together very closely. They can be of various shapes and sizes when mature. Intercellular spaces are absent as the cells are packed together very closely. Cell wall is highly thickened due to deposition of chemically complex substance called lignin. Due to presence of lignin, cells become very strong and resistant to decomposition. The cell cavity or lumen is quite narrow. This diagram shows you the transverse section and the longitudinal section of Sclerenchyma tissue. Types and location. Sclerenchyma tissue can be of two types: Sclerenchyma fibers and sclerates or stone cells. Sclerenchyma fibers are the plant fibers such as those in linen, hemp and husk of coconut. The hard walnut shells, the gritty masses in the skin and pulp of pears, guava and sapota fruits are made up of stone cells. Sclerenchyma tissues are also present in the veins of leaves, around vascular tissues and hard covering of seeds. Function. It provides mechanical strength and rigidity to the plant. It protects the plants from stress and strain of environmental forces like strong winds. So here we have covered the 3 types of supporting tissue. In the next video, we'll talk about the protective tissue. Thank you so much for staying with me. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.